What's going on, everybody? Simple Jairos here, back again with another video. No idea what order my videos are going to be in, but you know what, as long as if I get them out there, as long as if somebody watches them for 2 minutes, as long as if I can help one soul out there, I guess I'm doing my job. Anyway, the purpose of this video, or the topic for this video, really is for youngsters that want to get into riding a motorcycle, especially those that have strict parents. I myself would be one of those where, I wouldn't consider myself young. I'm in my mid to late 20s, but you know, if you're a youngin' that's really like motorcycles, but you know that your mom and pop or your parents or your guardians, whomever watches over you, wouldn't be okay with that. To be quite honest, I don't even think that I will be okay with my own daughter riding a bike, but that's just fear out of my loved ones. I don't want to put them in any kind of situation like that. But for those of you youngins that have that hurdle that you have to go over, which would be your parents or your guardians or whomever kind of, watches over you, the only bit of advice that I can tell you, to be honest, is if you really want, they're never going to be okay with you riding a bike just out of fear, because motorcycles are dangerous. There's a lot of things that can go wrong that are like against you, that can end your life right then and there. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's the motorcycle's fault. I don't think so. I've come to realize motorcycles are great machines, but I would say all the elements and everything else around, will be the one that will most likely put you in a bad situation. You know what I mean? So if you do have parents or guardians that you kind of live with, they kind of run your whole day, your life, and you just want to continue pleasing them, and you're interested in something that you know for a fact that they would not be okay with, I'll tell you right now, that's a battle you're probably never gonna win, right? So what do? You set up your troops. How do you do that? So what do? You set up your troops. How do you do that? Simple, really. You continue being the best kid you possibly could be in their eyes. You know what I mean? You be the best kid that you know you can be to them. If you know that your parents are well educated and they respect or really hold a high value to education, hey man, you better get that degree. You know what I mean? Like you better get that magna cum laude, that summa. I don't know. You just need to. All I'm really trying to say is, if you want to get into riding a bike and you don't want to have a difficult time convincing your parents that you are more than capable of, being in control of such a motorcycle or such a machine, all I'm really trying to say is you have to convince your guardians or your parents that you're responsible. That way, when you do bring up talks of, wanting to ride a motorcycle, they won't question your maturity. They won't question your mindset. They won't question none of that. They will simply just express their concerns. You know, and again, this goes to people that have very strict parents. You know, like I said, I'm African. My mom and my dad, they strict like it's nobody's business. But all you got to do really is just, you've got to let them know, like, hey, I'm mature. Hey, I'm responsible. And you do that in many ways. You know, the first way that I could think of, have a clean record. Have a clean driver's license. You know, don't have any accidents on your driver's license. And if you do, it needs to be clear that, you know, obviously you are not the one at fault. You know, minimize any speeding tickets. My record is clean. I think I have like one violation, which was a traffic violation. So, and that was just really dumb, to be honest. I don't even know why I ended up. Anyway, so I would say have as clean a record as you possibly can have. And by the way, my traffic violation was over 8 years ago. Haven't had anything since. No speeding tickets, no parking tickets, none of that. My record is as clean as ice. So I would say if you really want to have that conversation not be as stressful or as demanding, you want your guardians to just express emotional concern. You don't want them to question your maturity and your level of responsibility. You don't want that. And the reason why you don't want that is because they will come up with anything and everything to deter you away from riding a bike. And they can do that in many direct and indirect ways. And which brings me to one of my other points. Hit them with the surprise factor. You know? And what I mean by that is, you know you're interested in motorcycles, and if you're real serious, you should already be saving a little bit of change on the side, because ain't nobody gonna buy it for you. You have to buy it yourself, like I did. And basically keep quiet about it. Don't bring it up to nobody. I mean, well, if you have siblings and you're pretty tight, you can let them know, like, hey, one of these days I'm about to buy a bike, like I did with my brothers. But with your parents and all that, don't bring it up. Don't even talk about motorcycles. Just show disinterest or something like that. The reason why I say that is parents find direct and indirect ways to kind of control your life. And what I mean by that is basically, if you say that you're interested in motorcycles and you tell your mom or your dad or whomever's your guardian when you're like 16, they may have wanted to take you to a MotoGP like event or race, or like a NASCAR race or something like that, and because they now know how interested you are and how they don't want to have you have that kind of interest, they can just prevent you from being able to see that, being able to witness that, and just do a lot of indirect things. Maybe they may stop buying you toys of cars, and you know, maybe they themselves will be like, you know, I did want to get a BMW M3, but this time I'm probably just going to get an X5 or something like that. I don't know. You know, there are many things parents can do to kind of shape a child's life. So I would say with motorcycles, just keep quiet about it. And then when you're about 21 or something like that, and you've kind of got things going on for yourself, and that's why I lead back to that point of make sure that you've always lived as a mature kid, as a responsible kid, because once you've got everything going on for yourself and you've moved out comfortably, or if you're still living with mom and pop, that might be just a little bit difficult, but once you've got everything going on for yourself, you can just hit them with that surprise to just say, hey, I bought a bike. They're gonna get that first one-hit shock, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, you know, my baby boy or like my baby girl just got a motorcycle. They'll have all those emotional reactions in that spot. But what they won't have is the opportunity to deter you away from it. They won't have that opportunity. And most importantly, they've already seen you grown up to be such a wonderful adult. You've got the clean record. You've kept up with your schooling. If that's kind of what's been important to them, you've shown them that you do listen. Not to say that you're just a child that just, kisses mommy and daddy's butt. I'm not saying that. But at least you've shown that you know what's really important in life. You know how to handle yourself in life. And by making this decision of getting a bike, you're simply making a statement like, yo, you're basically, that was a bad, anyway, I'm still a noob. You're basically making the statement like, yo, I got this, and I can handle this, so that way when they're talking to you, it's more of an emotional conversation than it is are you even old enough mentally to make such a decision. And that's my 2 cents. To be quite honest, like, if you want to ride a bike and you've got a strict parent, number one, just show them that you're responsible and you're mature. If they take schooling seriously, then take schooling seriously. You basically want to have enough ammunition. You basically want to have enough ammunition on your end to just let them know, like, yo, I can handle this. And while they're still going to express how they feel about you riding, which they'll never really support it, the whole point is to make sure that the conversation you're having with them isn't about your maturity, but more so about how they feel emotionally and the general concern that they have because a motorcycle is dangerous.